All right, let's get started.
All right, what we doing?
Folks, please.
Where's my paper?
Dan, you go.
The paper,
Go.
Tiny. You got more than these papers?
Yes.
So welcome everyone to the Transportation Gentrification Press Conference. At this press conference, poor, unhoused, and working class youth and families and residents of East Oakland will release their research, that's Poor People-led research coined by Poor Magazine, on the funding sources, cover-up, and gentrification plans of this transportation gentrification hitting deep East Oakland.
In addition to covering up the backroom deals made with AC Transit, the city and county denied access to documents requested by youth scholars at Decolonize Academy, who filed over 14 Freedom of Information requests from the city.
Hello, I am Zion, one of the youth scholars at Decolonize Academy, Journalism Department. Today we'll be releasing the research investigation done by us youth and family scholars at Decolonize Academy and Poor Magazine on the BRT project's impact on East Oakland. This was an investigation we launched because Poor Magazine received a tip from two community elders who have worked and resisted in Oakland for years and couldn't get any other news agencies to cover the scandal.
Hello, I am Tibu. We are calling this project Transportation Gentrification because due to the transportation project known as BRT, Bus Rapid Transit, houseless folks are getting criminalized and arrested and power washed and no longer able to sit and stand and be in the places and spaces they used to be. And additionally, countless families and elders are now facing eviction because this area is marked as a development district.
Hello, my name is Amir, and we also want to announce that we filed 14 Freedom of Information Act requests with the city and county of Oakland, and they refuse to release any of their documents on their dealing with BRT.
So first we will introduce some of the numbers we found out who is funding the BRT. It's funded by 100%.
Bye.
The Bay Area Troll Authority, AC Transit, East Bay Bus Rapid Transit, Federal Highway Administration. Because of the BRT, hundreds of black and brown families and businesses face eviction and displacement. Keep up.
Hello, I am Chemo of Decolonize. As of our publishing of this youth and family research report of the City of Oakland, the City of Oakland denied that they had any documents to all of the 14 of our FOIA requests, even though all the websites and public relations material states clearly that the City of Oakland is a funder to the billion-dollar rail line called the BRT.
It's Aminra.
Hello, I'm Aminra, the Publishing Task Ambassador.
Decolonize Academy.
And Decolonize Academy.
finality, the point we are making is the expansion of the transportation agency is directly leading to gentrification. We are seeing this happen in our neighborhood, but it has happened before. 10 years ago in San Francisco, the 3rd Street rail line, otherwise known as the T-line, was opened, kicking out many people who lived on the intended route. Oakland, following their example, is now mowing through our neighborhoods, power washing houseless people and evicting housed people, many of whom have lived here their entire lives. Like I said before, this is just another excuse for the city of Oakland to kick out the actual residents of Oakland to make way for new, higher-paying citizens.
Now we would like to call up Now we want to call up our elder scholars that gave us a lot of our research. Ono Wale Fowles.
All right. Can we say homefulness?
Homefulness!
For everyone.
For everyone!
Homefulness.
Homefulness!
For everyone.
For everyone!
Homefulness.
Homefulness!
For everyone.
For everyone!
All right, that means that we are going to have a way to get to and from home. We're going to have a way to get around the city. We're going to have a way to get across town. This is a sign that just went up in AC Transit. Can you say Alameda County?
Alameda County.
Contra Costa County.
Contra Costa County!
Alameda County.
Alameda County!
Contra Costa County.
Contra Costa County!
Alameda Contra Costa Transit Agency.
Alameda Contra Costa Transit Agency!
Alameda Contra Costa Transit Agency.
Alameda Contra Costa Transit Agency!
On January 24th, these people are going to try to come back at you with another public hearing right across the street, around the corner at 1600 Franklin, twice in one day, to get you to okay a higher price for going to San Francisco on their transit bay lines. This is the next step in raising money, okay? Now, BRT has had a history of being a revenue cash cow. That's all it is. They put out in their website that BRT, Bus Rapid Transit, was designed to increase traffic and transit on their lines up and down International Boulevard, Telegraph, all the way into Berkeley Marina. City of Berkeley and the City of Oakland, Northern Oakland, all said no. No land use permits for you. We're not allowing that to happen because it would have torn up the streets, built a concrete abutment in the middle of the street, forced parking to disappear on either side of that abutment, and would not have allowed traffic to transmit itself in between. So the project got cut down from 14.4 miles on the environmental impact report down to 9.9 miles from San Leandro up East 14th, better known as International Boulevard, to downtown Oakland. At this time, however, BRT has not been able to start as they had hoped, so they have been raising fees and changing schedules. Last December 2016, they changed schedules. March 2017, they changed schedules again. July 2017, they changed schedules a third time. December 2017, they changed schedules again. Now they're getting ready to raise fees one more time. The fees that they raised in July were the fees on the elderly, students, disabled, and other people who didn't have enough money to pay the $5 a day. So they raised the fees to $26.50 a month from $20 a month. That's a 33.33% increase. Everything else on the docket went up 7% or 5%. But they raised the fees on their base critical mass population of ridership 33.33%. You know what the excuse was? Oh, well, we didn't raise it for 3 years. We didn't raise it for 3 years. Yeah, but you raised it beyond the level that people can pay. Okay, so now they're getting ready to do the same thing on the Cross the Bay riders, and that's what this January 24th gig is about. I'm asking people to do two things. Take the research that these young people have just done, go online and see if you can find anything in the Federal Transportation Commission at the federal level that says that bus agencies cannot destroy local bus schedules in favor of rapid transit ones. That does exist. We have not been able to find it. I have called assembly persons' offices and spoken to transportation agency deputies for the last 2 years. Nobody can find this magic clause. But you see our research scholars here, they found everything. So help them out, give them a call, go online to poornewsnetwork.org, right? And give them the information about what federal statute does not allow local bus companies funded by the county, because AC Transit is funded by all 4 levels of public money. They do not have a nickel of private money anywhere. The building that sits over there on 1600 Franklin, every seat, every thread in the carpet, every slice of paint on the wall comes from us. Federal income tax, state tax, county taxes, and city taxes. There is nothing in that building. There is no bus driver on these buses. There's no paint and no air in the tires that came from any place other than the public. We have a right to be repaid for the scam that BRT is. And why is BRT a scam? Well, let's see. 2001, 2003, there was a little deal that came down to get us new buses because the buses were running, out. They were bad. New buses came to us from Belgium. Belgium in Europe, that's the one. Brussels, Belgium. Hello. Name of the company, Van Hool. VANHOOL. And what did we learn about the Van Hool buses? Well, first of all, they're touring buses. They're not for heavy-duty, multi-transit, 2-county things. It turns out that the maintenance costs on the Van Hool buses actually doubled the expenses that AC Transit had to pay for maintenance on their own buses. It also turns out that they were in a no unlock contract. They couldn't get out of the contract. They had double booked contract for successive bus buys in 2009 and 2011. So we keep getting Van Hools, and Van Hools keep breaking down, and then you wonder, where's my bus? Well, your bus is sitting on the side of the road because it can't move. So what happens is that the public has been going to AC Transit since 2007 saying, well, why do we have BRT and we can't even get the buses to run locally? And it turns out that they spent something in the range of $953 million. 953 million. We did the math, and you can do the math too. Don't trust me. Look at the Bay Area, the East Bay Express for January and February 2008. All of that information is in 2 articles that Robert Gammons wrote in 2008. January and February 2008. And he did follow-ups and a whole bunch of stuff. He has all of the data that we use to calculate the $953 million scam. Okay? Then they raised prices on us several times. Now, the new way that they could not raise prices from 2014 on was to split lines. So 51 got split into 51A, 51B, because you had to do what? Pay twice. 90, 98 over on Coliseum is now 2 lines, 90, 98. And what they do is they tell the feds, oh, we've created new lines. They didn't create a new line, they just split it and called it something else. Okay? Then we had over in the Berkeley area 25 counterclockwise and 25 clockwise. We also had a number of other buses that had counterclockwise and clockwise, 49A and 49B, and people were getting lost because they couldn't figure out which one went which where. All of these are scams to raise money for AC Transit to cover that $953 million loss. And then what happens? In 2010, they suddenly decide, oh, we need to put in a travel voucher rule that says that if we reimburse you for travel to Europe or someplace other than local, or even a local place, it has to be related to the AC Transit business. They didn't have that before. except that between 2003 and 2007, there were lots of trips to Spain and Paris and London, England, and a couple of trips to Brussels. They also supported for one solid year one AC transit mechanic in Belgium he had 2 car rental accounts. One to rent the car and one to pay for gas. Now I don't know why that is, because Brussels isn't that large. You could walk Brussels. It could probably fit maybe into San Francisco, which is about 7 miles long. There was a $400,000 personal loan to the then general manager, Rick Fernandez. You cannot lend public money to a personal employee for personal reasons. They did that. That is a criminal misappropriation of public funds.
Oh.
They have yet to be put in jail for that. And that was the board of AC Transit.
How much was that again?
$400,000. It was originally $500,000 and they cut it down to $100,000. So he could buy a house.
No.
So 953 million and 400,000.
On 953 million on the buses, the Van Hool buses, plus the 400,000 to Rick Fernandez for his personal home. So eventually
We got some reparations coming to us.
Hey, that's $1.3 million without even doing the whole math, okay?
Right.
So you have in this BRT thing, the way that they were going to raise money to cover the 953 million on the contract, okay? There were 2 laws that were broken by the contract on the buses. One was they violated the Buy America clause, which is a federal law that says if you have a public entity and you want to buy something, you cannot buy it outside the United States. It has to be an American company. Well, they laundered the money through the Metropolitan Transit Commission, which is supposed to be the oversight for the buses, laundered the money through them, went and bought the buses anyway. The second law that they broke was they never did have a bid. It never went to bid. It went straight to Van Hool. Straight to Van Hool. And there was no external international bid for any international companies. There was no bid for the local companies, which is why more recently, when they just bought the buses from the company in Alameda here, they had to go through bid. And they had to do it right because they knew people were watching. Since this time, we've had at least 3 or 4 board members resign, including the former attorney for the council for AC Transit. He resigned and went out resigning, claiming that because he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar because he went to Europe too.
How about that?
Hey. He said, no, I went to Europe. I went to Belgium. I did work. I went to see if the contract was all right, because he had to go make sure that the second contract, for which AC Transit still owed money, like $2 million or something like that. They still had to pay Van Hool. He went over there to do that, but in the meantime, he took a side trip somewhere that had nothing to do with AC Transit business. He was reimbursed in full. Everybody was reimbursed in full. Families were taken on holiday on AC Transit dollars. This is our money. That had nothing to do with AC Transit business. All of this stuff is in those 2 articles that Robert Gammons wrote. This is public common knowledge. I'm not making this up. Read it for yourself. It's in the archives. East Bay Express, January, February 2008.
Thank you.
Thank you
Woo!
so much for all of that wisdom.
You're welcome.
Onward we go.
Keep reading them newspapers, people, because you have to do that. The last thing I wanted to let you know, one of the reasons that they've been splitting lines is that I took them to court in 2014. And I charged them with elder abuse, among other things, because they took away the 25-cent transfer. Now, remember, they had just split 51A and 51B. After they split 51A and 51B, they took away the 25-cent transfer and split a couple of other lines as well, which meant that you could not travel one way and then come back for 25 cents to come home. Now you have to travel one way and pay full fare to come back. That's a 100% increase on your expenditures for one trip, round trip. Okay? Believe me, they did the math.
He'll be there.
They did the math. And they're calculating all this based on what their ridership is. Their base ridership for AC Transit is poor folks. They are trying to attract
Now we would like to call
the Silicon Valley, the wealthy, and so forth and so on. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But those of us who have to go on the bus, those of us who have to rely on the buses 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, especially at night. If you work at night, you only have a bus once every hour. If you miss that bus, you're standing outside for an hour, unless you can afford Uber or Lyft. I doubt it, because you wouldn't be working those hours if you could afford Uber or Lyft.
All right.
So understand that this is a very, very serious bus rapid transit gentrification project that supposedly talked the Oakland City Council persons into, well, don't forget, we're bringing you jobs. We're bringing you jobs. Well, they couldn't possibly be bringing jobs because the majority of the investors who were interested in this project were not California companies. They were not even Oakland companies. There's one now. That's because the public jammed them up so bad, they had to go find somebody from Oakland to pay to let them do that. And it's only a public relations marketing company. It's not a construction group.
All right.
Yeah, oh, thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Give a big round of applause, Omawale! Please,
let's support the children.
Please.
They're the ones that are going to lead this.
That's right. Thank you, Ben.
Lead this. Thank you.
Now we would like to call up Leo Moore of Teacher Poor Magazine.
You might hold the mic for him, huh? Or we can put it in here. That's fine.
I'm in rock.
Hello, Leo Moore talking about disability access and how the BRT is going against that. The BRT says that they're going to make it more accessible. That's not right. They're going to make it unaccessible. So they're going to squeeze the street smaller. And like in San Francisco, on 3rd Street, they're going to pull up all the benches. They're going to pull up all the benches. They did that in San Francisco with the T-line. You go to San Francisco, you go to the baby, there's not one bench. So they're going to do the same thing in East Oakland, and that's against accessibility laws. Forget about the ADA, it's talking about local disability laws. How do I know? Because I was on the board of the Willie Brown back in the 90s, and the whole board voted for pulling up all the benches. So they're going to do the same thing here in Oakland. So don't be confused when they say, oh, we're trying to make it more accessible for elders. That's not the case.
Now we'd like to call up Bila Ali.
Good morning, everybody. So, anyway, let's look at this. Who does the bus rapid transit benefit?
Woo!
That's the question. Who does it benefit? I tell you who it benefits, and historically, this type of gentrification, using transportation to gentrify neighborhoods, who does it benefit? It benefits those with the connections, it benefits those with the protections, and it benefits those with the complexions, right?
That's right.
The BRT touts the benefits of bus rapid transit. Again, the question is, who does this benefit? This type of development by the BRT often results in a severe mismatch between the needs of local long-time residents of color and the poor, and the profit motive interests of those driving urban development. The results of such transit development by the BRT usually means new businesses and services that are designed
to serve incoming affluent white residents as urban centers are transformed by neoliberalism, sending a message that working class communities of colors and the poor, that they have no right to occupy space in their own communities. Race and transportation have a long been intertwined, whether it be federally funded highways that plow through our isolated minority neighborhoods, Rosa Parks, and the Montgomery bus boycott, or segregated streetcars and trolleys. This type of transportation development doesn't ensure social justice and equity in our communities. The expansion of this transportation agency and its BRT is directly leading to gentrification. We are seeing this happen in our neighborhood now, but it has happened before. So again, who does it benefit? Those with the connection, those with the protection, and those with the funky complexion. That's who it benefits. All right. All positive people.
All right. Woo, 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 woo! T-Boo.
Mama Tiny, teacher and poverty scholar.
We are the poverty scholars. All the people you don't want to see, never want to be, look away from me. What you gonna do, arrest me? We're in your city. Yeah, we are the poverty scholars, that houseless mama, that houseless daughter. You know, so we put out the young people's beautiful hard-earned research. I did say research, that's poor people-led research, not academia-led research, AKKdemia most of the damn time, because no matter how many times you study us or research us, that don't give us a place to live. Can I get a witness? Yes. But they create these $1 million studies to study poverty. And then we still on the street after the study is reduced and produced in Stanford University endowment on poverty. There's an oxymoron for you. So I say this to say that these young people did hard work putting out this research to find out this multi-million-dollar scam that we just heard from Sister Olawale and also Latrice from Kiss My Black Arts. They were two sisters who came to Poor Magazine because nobody else would do this media. And we put the story out on the Bayview newspaper, baddest black newspaper in the West. And these young people got a hater list. People going on there saying, oh, why they protesting? Why they talking back? Why aren't they happy? Because it's transportation after all. Really interesting. Guess what? Why don't you go down to International Boulevard right now where there's a cop posted on every corner so that poor people, houseless folks, many of whom have lived in that neighborhood for years but are now gentrified out of their homes.
That's right.
Right? Right?
You get traffic.
Right?
What's going on downtown Oakland?
Right? So the police are sitting there, and so that the houseless folks can't sit, stand, or be there anymore.
They're kicking out the homeless.
Right? Power washing poor people out of their hoods. That's what this mess got, people. So it's real interesting that haters be talking trash about young folks standing up. They should be ashamed of themselves. So these young people, like all of us at Poor Magazine, we aren't pimped and played, bought. This is our plantation media. We encourage all y'all to come through. It's everybody's media. Our newsroom is the first Tuesday of every month down in Deep East Weechene. Please come through, 6:30 p.m. There's one coming up in February, first Tuesday of the month. We serve healthy meals, and we all about making sure everybody gets heard. But right now, we want to make a demand to AC Transit, to the city and county and state, that we need some reparations, because while you're trying to kick us out, we want to make sure Oakland still gets to be here. Now we put something out called the Bank of Community Reparations, and that's how we're funding homefulness. Homefulness! I said homefulness! That's a homeless people's solution to homelessness. We don't need your government shelters and your fake Section 8 that runs out and nobody takes it anymore. We have our own solutions and we can build our own. So right now, we're going to walk over to AC Transit. We encourage you all to come with us, and we're going to make a direct demand that they give us back some of that 1.2 whatever billion dollars that they stole from the community and the state, and make sure that all of us can actually be housed while they try to kick us out. So first of all, let's give a big round of applause to these young folks who did this work. For any of you all to know and do more, there is a copy of the Decolon News. And if you can kick a little down, Poor Magazines in fact posts, and we do appreciate a donation of $1, but if you can't, it's for free. This has got all that information in it. And then we're going to walk over to AC Transit. We hope you come with us. The bottom line is, we will not be silenced about this violence called gentrification and removal. We will not be silenced about this violence called removal. Thank you, everybody. Can we give it up to Zion for a great MC job, please?
Yeah, Zion. That was beautiful. Okay.
That's right.
Put that right in my face, like that. That's not cool.
Uh-oh. Here, I'm in
I need
round.
the clipboard.
I'm in round. You want to go
Thank
and
you.
see if somebody wants to give a donation?